Do you really qualify for that home office deduction? If you work from home, you're probably missing out on one of the most misinterpreted deduction out there, the home office. But there's a catch. The IRS has rules and not everyone qualifies for it. I get this question all the time. Does my kitchen table count? Can I use my guest bedroom as my home office? And also, how do I prove if the IRS even asks me if this is my home office? We're going to go ahead and talk about that. What exactly qualifies for home office? Also, we're going to talk about how to calculate it once we do determine that it is a qualified home office, and then how long you need to keep those records for the home office. So, to claim the home office deduction, you need to be using the space regularly and exclusively for business purposes. So, if you want to go ahead and claim your dining room table that you're also sharing dinners on with the family, unfortunately, sorry, Charlie, you're not going to be able to do that. Now, this doesn't have to be a separate room, it can be any dedicated space to your business. Now, and also homeowners and renters can take this deduction, which is unlike some other deductions that require you to own the property. But it does need to be clearly designated that it is for work only. So if you look at my office, my space, it does show that it is have my computer stuff, I have the printer there, and I'm just doing work there. I even have the lights. I am just working at that desk. But however, the other areas of my room, you can see I have a couch, I got a TV. It's obviously part of a separate little relaxation area. So that's not part of the area I would claim. I would only claim the small area in a little box of where my desk is. And that's how I would do it. Now, when I go to claim my home office area, I can do it in two different ways. I can do the simplified method or I can do the actual expenses. Now, the simplified method is great because it's quick, it's easy, and if I have a small space like I do, I don't worry about receipts or how or track any of those things. So what I can do is just take $5 per square foot. That's the current rate that the IRS gives me. And I can do up to 300 square feet. So there's a maximum on the simplified method of 1,500 if I was to take the full 300 square feet. My space is not 300 square feet, so I'm not worried about that. But if it was more than 300, or if it was like a whole room, I would probably use the actual expense method, which is going to be more in line because with that, I take a percentage of my home and a percentage of how much is used for business. And then I apply it to things like mortgage, utilities, the insurance, HOA fees. I have to include HOA fees because HOH can take my home if I don't pay them. So this is all part of keeping my home up and running. And that because I need all of that, I can take a portion of that based off of my square footage of my business room or area. And so if it's 10% or 30%, let's say for grins and giggles, is 10%. I can take 10% of my rent. I can take 10% of my utilities. That's for phone, electric, all of those things that will be part of up and running my home. Take 10% of that and go ahead and apply it to the actual expenses for my home office and take that as a home office expense. Okay, so for many people who have a large office, this would be a better thing to do is take the actual expenses because it takes a percentage. Now, it does take more effort, but it can save you more money, especially if your home office home expenses are extremely high. All right, the next thing is record keeping. How long should you keep these records? To keep proof of your workspace, you want a simple photo of your workspace. And people have seen plenty of photos of my workspace, so that's easy for me. Or floor plan, or you just want to make sure you note what the square footage is. Just as long as you have that. And if you're doing the actual, you want to make sure you hold on to your utility bills, your internet statements, any rent or mortgage statements, all of those things. And the clear retention rule is 3 years. So you're going to want to keep those if you're taking the actual expense. Now, if you're doing the simplified method, you don't have to worry about any of this other than that you want to take a picture of your space and show so that you have on record that, yes, this space is exclusively for business purposes and it's not part of the guest area or the gaming area. All right. Oh, but a quick bonus is if you do use your phone or internet as part of your home for both personal and business, just remember that only the business portion is going to be what is going to be deductible. So keep that in mind. You just want to jot your estimates. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be consistent. And that's what the IRS is looking for, consistency. All right. So to recap, your space must be regularly and exclusively used for business. To go ahead and use the home office deduction, and you have that choice of the simplified or the actual expenses to go ahead and take that deduction, whichever one is going to give you the bigger bang for your buck. And you can switch it every year. It doesn't have to be the same every year. Now, if this did help you, go ahead and drop a comment down below and tell me, what do you use for your home office? Or if you have any questions about home office, please go ahead and leave those in the comments below. And if you don't want to miss another tea on taxes, make sure you hit subscribe and like, and also hit that bell to go ahead and get notified of any new episodes that get done. All right? Thank you. Keep on sipping. Bye.